fellow mystics. Today I'm going to look into the future to see what develops in the leaves. Just having a bit of a swirl around there. I can see that Oddie has something special for you today. A mysterious beauty from the distant past. And this mysterious beauty was also identified on Oddie's channel. Check the video link below if you haven't seen it. I see Oddie has found something wonderful, and some lucky person is going to be the winner. Only the leaves and the ball can reveal who it is. Oh, who's this? Oh. Get out of the way, you old bat. Hacksaw's coming through. Wow, Coloma. What I would really like on a Saturday evening is some pie and mashed jelly deals, a bottle of brown stout, and a bit of Coloma. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Well, my dear friends, now that we got rid of that old harridan, it's time for me to speak. If somebody wins Coloma, you better send it to me, or else me and the boys will be around to visit. And you won't like that. Anyway, I'm not gonna be a negative Nelly. Best of British luck to you, whoever wins. Now, it's over to Oddie. Ta-ra!
That's right, my dears, a chance to win Coloma. Yes, some of you, if you are loyal subscribers, will remember the first video where Coloma was mentioned was my Josie Earp video. The link I will add in the description for those of you who haven't seen it, because the urban myth is that the model for Coloma was Josie Earp, which I have debunked, which has been debunked by many others, and yet this persists, this myth. If you do a search for Coloma, for when this photo is for sale, it always comes up Wyatt Earp's wife or Josie Earp. The girl in this photo was about 18 to 20 years old, roughly in that age group. Josie Earp at that time was 53. It's clearly not her. There was a book, I can't remember the author now, I did mention it on my Coloma video and the Josie Earp video. He used this photo as the cover, as the dust cover, to help it sell. And from that time on, it stuck that it was Josie Earp, and it's not Josie Earp. And of course, a lot of people have made money from that. There's sort of novelty stores where Wyatt Earp come from. They sort of have this image as his wife, Josie Earp. It's not. It's identified in my video. I will also leave a link to the video where she is identified, the rightful model is identified for the beautiful and cult-like Coloma image, and this lady never would have imagined in the future how famous she would become because of this image, which was quite widely produced at the time, and they've become quite expensive to buy now. There's lots of copies and posters and da-da-da. The originals are quite expensive to buy. We'll have a look at it in a minute, at the various prices. I have my own Coloma, which I bought in the 90s, which I'm going to keep hold of. I've been looking around for another one, and a German dealer friend of mine has found one for me, which I'm going to give away. The reason why I want to keep mine is that it has sentimental reasons. I knew the antique dealer very well in Sydney. He's long passed, and it's just memories of that haunt of mine, the area that I was in. So, the cat's come in the room, excuse me. The cat always puts me off, she distracts me, but I do love her. It's getting a bit senile. Where was I? Yeah, so this one I have for you for a giveaway. And it's in the original frame, and I'm going to discuss that later, why it's important to be in the original frame. And it's quite a beautiful one. Have a look at this sort of silver decoration around the border. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, really, I quite like this one even more than mine, but for the reasons I've already explained, this is the one that is coming up for the giveaway for one lucky winner on Patreon. So all you have to do is be a Patreon member of mine. The link is in the description. You can join for $3. $3 is the minimum. And for that, not only do you get a chance to win Coloma, but it unlocks 6 full-length videos. That's an absolute bargain. $5 unlocks 11 videos. $8 unlocks 17 videos. And $20 you get the whole lot. There's a whole load of videos that are not here on YouTube. The reason why I'm mentioning Patreon again, and I know a lot of you YouTubers who are not a member hate it. You don't want to pay, people tell me, but I don't know how much longer I can go on YouTube. My very last video was demonetized, restricted to over 18s, which means it's dead in the water. It didn't get any more views. That night it was really starting to take off, and they just bam, they whacked it. It's gone. It's dead in the water. It's the very last video. I'll also leave a link for that. This is what they do to me, and this really, I'm basically shadow banned by YouTube because I've spoken out so much in the past. I will continue to do so. I'm not going to give in to their nonsense. The reason why they restricted it was because the word suicide was mentioned. Go and have a look at the video, and if you tell me that needs to be over 18, it's absolutely ridiculous. I'll show you my community post that I wrote about that. This is the community post that I did on YouTube 2 weeks ago, a little poem I wrote here. And the reason why they demonetized and restricted that video, and 4 of my videos have fallen victim to this AI worm. Whatever word that they decide is no longer allowed, they're going to go right through your videos from years ago. They give you the option to do a review, and when I did that, they just deleted the video. So this is the way these work. Of course, the AI software doesn't understand context. It just looks for that word written or spoken. It is, of course, an insane policy in the latest of insanities from Google/YouTube. This is, of course, censorship for no real reason, and of course, they will be adding other words and terms, which means people have to make up ridiculous nonsense words like unalived to get past the censorship on these social networks. People have actually said to me on Facebook, why don't you just use the word unalived? Words change all the time. I'm not doing it. I am not. Suicide is in the English dictionary. That's the word I'm going to use. I'm not going to be giving in to this insanity. I'm not. As I've mentioned here, some of the videos I've actually pleaded with people in a dark place not to make that final decision about suicide. A beautiful video. The AI doesn't understand that. It doesn't understand that context. This is why this is insanity. Don't give in to it, my friends. Do not give in to any of this insanity that has been pushed at us constantly these days. Is this the world you want for your children and grandchildren, where the clinically insane decide which words and terms are permitted to be used? I think this is an absolute disgrace. This is the crazy world that we live in. No doubt they will restrict this giveaway video because I've used the word suicide several times. I don't care. I'm not doing it. That is why your support on Patreon is imperative. It really is, for me to continue here. I'm trying my best, but they're making it so hard. This is what happens when you speak out. If you're not on their side, if you're not going along with their agenda, they're going to target you. The word shadow ban, some people don't believe it exists. I'm telling you it does. It does exist. And it happens. I'm not going to go into the proof that I have. Not here, it's not the right place, but just to say that it does happen. Anyway, let's go and have a look at the prices of the Coloma photos. Just to give you some idea of the value of Coloma, I found a few on the internet that have sold. The prices vary. What I have found is usually if it's in the original frame, it gets more. This is not the original frame, so I'm quite surprised that it got that much. That's in Swiss francs, by the way. I'll put it on the screen how much that is in US dollars, just to give you some idea. Also in English pounds. But yeah, so I have found that some of them go for over $1,000 US, so we'll have a look at those. Here we see one that sold for US $1,095, and I don't even think that's the original frame. It might be. We can't see the back though, can we? Oh yes, it is. It is the original frame. Okay. Right. And here we have one here. Also, Yeah, I don't really like the look of that because somebody has been in there and taken that out, which you shouldn't do. So I would advise, if you have one in an original frame, leave it in there. Don't have it reframed and don't take it out. Even if the glass is a bit dirty, I wouldn't advise it because collectors don't want it. See, there's a new nail there. This has been taken out of its frame and put back in, which is rather suspicious for me. That one went for, and other people obviously were a bit suspicious, which is why it went for a lot less than the previous one. So I would advise, keep it in the original frame at all times. Don't take it out. Here we see one that sold for $800. Now that's in the original frame, I think. I can't see the back here. Have they got a picture of the back? It doesn't look like it, does it? But the reason why that's also hasn't sold, for more is because it's got damage. Here we can see there has quite significant damage on it. And we can't see, oh, hang on, can we go down and see if that's, oh, it is in the original frame. Okay, it's in the original frame, but it does have some damage to the image. So, but that's good. They haven't taken it out of the frame, which is good. Here we have one on Live Auctioneers that sold for $750. Now, what I did notice, I looked at all the past auction results for Coloma. The ones that were newly framed didn't sell. The lot was passed over. So only the ones in the original frame were selling. Yeah. So only the ones in the original frame were getting the big prices. There's another one in the original frame, sold for $800. There we go. $800. And another one for $700. That doesn't even appear to have a frame, which is quite €700, which is quite amazing, actually. So there, just to give you an idea of the prices, keep it in the original frame at all costs, even if you think it looks a bit grubby. People don't like it new. Real collectors don't like to see it in a new frame. Not only is it suspicious, but they want to see the original, patina. They want that original, how it was framed, how it came out. So obviously these photos were put into all sorts of different frames at the time, so they're not all going to be the same frame, of course, but you'll be able to look at it and see that it's the original frame. All right, so there you have an idea. Now, when I do send this to the lucky person who wins it, I will speak to the winner beforehand. I'm paying for the shipping, but you will have to let me know, do you want me to put an estimated value on it? Because if I put a value of, say, $1,000 US on it, you're going to get charged import tax on that price, which is the negative side. The positive side is if it gets lost during shipping, you would be insured for that amount to replace the article. So I would leave that up to you, whether you want to pay that higher import cost, or do you want me to set a price for $50 that if it does get lost, then you'll get $50 paid out insurance. So I would leave that to you. Obviously, I would advise you to let me put the estimated value at about $8 to $1,000 on it, but it's up to you. I would leave that up to you. Okay. Just a quick video in my little studio here just to show you I do actually have the photo, because there will be some thinking that I may have just stolen the image from the internet just to do a giveaway. No, here it is next to my various, on the very right there is my Oddie Bo Hollywood star from Ruth Shelton, God bless her. In the middle is my YouTube 100,000 subscribers. I don't think I'm going to make 1 million. I think they've made sure of that. And to the left is the beautiful embroidery by my loyal Jen. Jen on Patreon, a big shout out to you, and to you, Ruth. God bless you both. So, just to show you, there it is. I have it. It's ready to be shipped out to the winner. Before I explain to you what you have to do to make your entry for the giveaway, just want to let you know that tomorrow, here on YouTube, I'm bringing a video for you. The death of Virginia Rappe, that is of course the scandal which destroyed Fatty Arbuckle's career. That's coming tomorrow. I will also put the trailer on so you can watch that. This may get restricted. Yeah, it's possible there is images in this video which the AI worm might grab onto. If in the event they delete the video, I'll have to let you know where you can view it. We don't give in. We do not give in. Not here on Obsolete Oddity. Anyway, all you have to do to win the Coloma picture is to jump over to your Patreon account. If you don't have one, make one. I will leave the link to my Patreon. Don't sign into someone else's Patreon account. Some people have done that. Make sure it's mine, Obsolete Oddity. I will leave the link. Best to click on the link in the description. The competition will be running all through next month of August. So you've got till the end of August to leave your entry, and then I will be drawing it in September, early September, and announcing the winner on Patreon. So that's all you have to do. Yeah, so what you have to do is tell me, why do you think that you should have Coloma? You can invent a reason. You could be creative, or you might have a reason why you think you should have this. Might suit your decor at home. Anything, just whatever I think, or whatever amuses me or interests me or just touches my soul, that person will be the winner. And that's about it. I have my fingers crossed for you. See, I can't do random draws on Patreon. You have to have a sort of competition where there is a question asked. That's why I've done that. Random draws are a lot easier. Then I don't have that, accusations of favoritism. But I assure you, there is no favoritism. Anyone can enter, and I will only choose the winner based on their answer, whatever I find it interesting or amusing. And I'm rambling on here. So here's the trailer for The Death of Virginia Rappe, coming tomorrow here on YouTube. Look out for it in case YouTube doesn't announce it. And all my subscribers who they've unsubscribed, you may not even get this announcement. Oh well. Teddy bye, my dear friends, and have a lovely weekend. By the way, nearly forgot, if you are watching this on Patreon, then you just leave your comment/entry under the very video. Under this video, here on Patreon, is where you leave your entry. Just wanted to clarify that. Okay, here's the trailer for The Death of Virginia Rappe. On an August day in 1921, roly-poly, rapidly rising Hollywood star Fatty Arbuckle is convinced by a friend he needs to let his hair down. They travel to San Francisco by car after having booked 3 rooms at the St. Francis Hotel. It was prohibition, but Fatty knew all the right people, and getting bootleg booze, and plenty of it, was no problem. There was no holding back, and Fatty and the other guests drink themselves silly in a very short time, including up-and-coming starlet Virginia Rappe. Virginia performs her usual party trick of stripping off. Soon after, she excuses herself and complains of feeling ill. She retires to Fatty's suite to recover, and shortly afterwards Fatty also enters the suite. What happens next is now legend. Join me on this journey back in time to a fledgling Hollywood where anything went until you got involved in a scandal. After the presentation, I discuss the relative points of the case and share with you some hitherto unknown details which I have discovered during a microfiche search.